morning and welcome back to another episode of Mini Daily. Today's episode we are going to be having a look at the Volvo, what it's like to drive, what it sounds like, and stuff, kind of just the bits that we missed the last time due to filming issues. Steve said he just sent me on some footage, so what I'll do is I'll try and clamber together an episode and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
So it's a 2.3 Jetronic engine, or K-Jetronic, which they used in Porsches and Volkswagens and the DeLorean as well, things like that on the fuel system. So far it's been pretty reliable. I've had to replace some of the injector seals in it from air leaks. Hi guys, it's Steve in the Volvo. I just thought I'd do a part 2 to John's video because obviously he lost some of the footage. So we'll do a driving video. I'll try not to be too biased as it's my own car. But basically, yeah, as me and John were talking about it when he was driving it, that it's a very nice, smooth, comfortable car. It seems to waft along very well. It's sort of a car you wouldn't realise how old it is if you were like blindfolded in it and was driving it down the motorway or something. It's great for running about, but it just gets a bit thirsty. But once you're on the motorway up doing sort of 60, 70, it really like comes into its own. It's very smooth. It's a very smooth drive. So I've got a bit of a like harmonic noise at about 50 mile an hour, but the prop shaft's has been a bit bodged about on this one with weights on it, tacked on and things. But whether that's to do with that or not, but anyway, I'm not too worried about it. The future plans for it is obviously now fix the speedo, fix the water leaking into it. I plan on fluid filming it all underneath, though it has been Schultz in places underneath, and it's actually a very good job and it appears good condition underneath where it's been Schultz. So as I say, just get some seam sealer on and hopefully stop all the water leaks. I'm going to strip the interior right out of it, and I've got additional soundproofing to go down on it, but just because like while you're in there, why not? Right, so jobs I've had to do on it, I've had to take apart the timing belt, take the timing belt off, and where the pulley had come off, it's a little tooth that the pulley goes into on the sprocket, and that had actually worn away. So I managed to get a new sprocket for it. Refitted it all, even with the existing timing belt, because it looked fairly new, which is probably why the pulley come off, because I suspect they didn't do the bolt up tight enough. So I put the timing belt back on it. And it's a non-interference engine anyway, but I just think it'd be alright for a couple of years, and I'll put a new one on it. I've had to change both the front like indicator and side light units because they've just gone brittle and cracks over age. I had to do the bearing on the prop shaft because that suddenly started making a noise, but that was such an easy job to do. No special tools or anything. So I've got some metal brake pipe to replace all the hoses underneath. So I'm not happy with having rubber hoses underneath. So obviously I like to do a bit of off-roading and I live in the countryside, always wearing a Nicka hose. I'll change the gearbox oil, diff oil, engine oil, power steering fluid. Looks brand new in it, but I probably will replace that at some point. It's had all new leads and plugs on it before I had it. So the fuel pump relay went. Unfortunately, it was in McDonald's car park when that went. I had to get 4 blokes to help push it out of the drive-through. So I'll carry a spare one, pop the spare in, then it fired straight up. And then I ordered a new one straight away for it, so I can keep the spare one as a spare still. I had to replace the overdrive relay because it wouldn't sometimes engage. But since I replaced the relay, it's engaged positively like every time. No, I think that's about all I've replaced on it. Obviously things like wipers and that, and I put the new tyres on. And I went up at size with the tyres. But yeah, that's been it. On the island trip, the only problems I had there was the exhaust pipe to manifold. The flange gasket blew on the trip. No fumes were coming into the car, so I was still happy to carry on and drive it. So the speedo stopped working as well on the island trip, but it's not a problem these days because in the phone mount you're in now, just put a speedo app on it and say that's the only trouble we've had with it. Well, I was very impressed because I drove about 1,700 miles in Ireland in 1.5 weeks, and yeah, really proved itself to me then, and not making me think that, well, maybe I should have bought a Honda instead. But no, I think I'm happy with this car and we're going to be keeping it. So yeah. So when I MOT'd the car, basically got it through the MOT, it had 2 advisories. One was the rubbers had gone on the centre box of the exhaust, and had a binding front right caliper. But then when we MOT'd it, unfortunately, the brake caliper went on the wife's car, so she couldn't drive that anymore. So this one was suddenly put back into use for my wife for a couple of weeks whilst I sorted her car out. And just as I was starting to work on her car, she was out in it, and the exhaust completely fell off of it. And unfortunately, I had her car stripped apart, blocking in our other vehicles. So I had to take the mountain bike out with some tools that I could put in a backpack and some wire and that. Managed to go out to her and wired this exhaust back on with holding it up with the jack below it. So done that, and then she'd used it a couple more times like that, and then I managed to get her Golf back on the road. But I did rebuild the brake caliper on this one then. Used a company called Big Red. I bought their kits with the pistons in, but unfortunately there's different types of pistons in these, and the pistons were 0.5 mil too big, so I managed to clean up these pistons and refit them with the new steel kit. But it would be nice to replace the pistons in it, but if it's not binding and they work, there's no point. So it's not a restoration, this car, it's just to keep it going, and obviously I'm going to rust proof it and things to make sure it lasts. But yeah, it's got all new brakes around on it. I've also replaced the fan belts on it because they're twin fan belt and the power steering belt. But yeah, and just little things like that. Obviously things like headlight bulbs changed and number plate bulbs and things. We did have actually on the island trip a bit of trim come down above the windscreen, like to the side, and we just had to do a quick duct tape repair on that on the road. But yeah, I'm happy with that, so very happy with how it performed in Ireland. So we spent about £400 on petrol on that trip, but that was sort of 11 days driving every day around Ireland. It was lovely on the lanes and that. I will send John some of the pictures we took of it on the hills and things, so I don't know if he'll put them into the video or not.
hopefully you enjoyed that. Thank you very much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you do like it. Comment away, and if you do like what you see on the channel, please consider subscribing.